What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today we're going to do the top 5 most accurate pistols. Before I do that, I want to mention my Patreon supporters. As always, thank you guys very much. It's because of you the channel's still here, and I really appreciate you guys. Because of that, we do cool stuff over on the Patreon page, like Patreon exclusive content, and I get to all your messages. So if you have a gun question, feel free to ask me over there on Patreon. I also want to mention my Instagram account. You want to see cool guns before they hit the channel. They usually hit Instagram slightly before, so it's a good way to go over and see extra content if you're interested. I also want to mention in the description below, along with Patreon and along with Instagram, is a local shelter that I really like to support. It is a youth shelter in Ames, Iowa, and I would appreciate if you would go down there and click that link and donate to those kids. And I've seen this list done a few times, but I honestly never felt like it was done right. I don't think most people have the ability to shoot the amount of firearms that I do. Since I have a gun review channel, I get a lot of firearms that cross the table that I am very lucky to have shot at all. And some of them happen to be the best guns in the entire world. So I've had a lot of experience on a lot of relatively pricey guns that I don't think most people just ever get the chance to. And I'm very thankful for that, and because of that, I can give you kind of a unique spin on some of these topics, like what are the most accurate pistols, because I haven't just shot Glocks and M&Ps, I've shot a lot of things that most people probably haven't even heard of. But this list just isn't my personal experience. I will also be taking into account the history of all of these firearms and the track record of those firearms as well. Now, these are going to be an appropriate caliber in all these firearms, so you won't be seeing any Olympic style bullseye 22 pistols. There isn't going to be any cap on price. So if you actually want a few of these firearms, you're going to have to take out a second mortgage. We're not talking about the most accurate pistols for the money here after all. We're talking about the most accurate pistols that exist. And what makes a pistol accurate? Usually a combination of really good sights, trigger, proper fitting, and a pretty good match barrel. That said, we'll get right into it at number 5 with the SIG P210 Target. One of the most accurate pistols of all time. While I personally shoot the 226 Legion single action only slightly better, the P210 has a very long history of having excellent accuracy all over the world, and it just can't be ignored, so it really does earn a spot on this list. Single action steel frame pistol made in the 1940s. It has an 8-round single stack 9mm magazine with a 5-inch carbon steel barrel. The original design was made for the Swiss military, and to this day it's touted by most experts, including Larry Vickers, to be one of the most accurate and best fitted military pistols ever made. It has adjustable sights on the Target model. However, if you're one of the poors like me, you're going to have to get the 3-dot standard sights. Red dot mounts and Target sights are available, but very rare and hard to find. But if you get a chance to throw a red dot on one of these pistols, I think you'll be surprised at how accurate you can actually be, considering the red dot really does help with that one point of aim. Especially at distance, you don't have to worry about holdovers with your iron sights getting in the way of the target. The gun itself weighs around 36 ounces, giving it a very good weight to settle the gun down for long shots. But the reason for the gun's success over the years of competition, law enforcement, and military use is because it has a single action trigger. The P210 trigger is well known for being one of the best ever made, and the single action pull is buttery smooth, very short, and has an awesome reset. And the shorter the trigger is, the less room for you to mess it up. Trigger control is key, and a better trigger is just simply easier to use. The good ergonomics also help out with the accuracy. The pistol melts in your hand and it feels like it was meant to be there. Aside from the accuracy, the gun is also as reliable as a Swiss watch. There's a reason why they're known around the world for craftsmanship, and the P210 is a really good example of this. I personally picked up the standard model for around $1,000, but the Target models are going to be more accurate, and that's what I'd look for if you were looking for a bullseye gun, and they usually come in around $1,400 to $1,600. Now at number 4, we have the Beretta 92 Performance. This model is actually new for 2020, however, the 92 has been around in one form or another for the last 40 years or so. Beretta 92 is a semi-auto, double-action 9mm pistol originally made in Italy in 1975. Then it ended up replacing the 1911 as the standard U.S. service pistol in 1985, immediately making it one of the most popular pistols in the world. The double single-action pistol with an aluminum frame has great ergonomics and legendary reliability. The 92X Competition, or performance style, is a new take on that, and it is the newest form of the 92, and it's specifically made for, you guessed it, competition. It has a much heavier steel frame, adding about 15 ounces, which again helps settle the weight down quite a bit for distance shots. It comes with awesome fiber optic sights and an adjustable blacked out rear, which is very important for getting a good zero. The trigger, just like the P210, is also really, really good. It has an amazing tuned up trigger right from the factory that honestly makes it hard to miss. Frame mounted safety differs a little bit from the original, but I actually really like it because if you add that with the match takedown lever, it really helps giving you a downward push to get a little bit of speed with your accuracy. The 92X has an improved grip and an extended beaver tail, which feels great when you're shooting. The combination of the adjustable fiber optic sights and that very light single action pull allows for some serious accuracy out of the pistol, far surpassing the original 92. The gun also looks great. It still has that 92 timeless look, but you're going to get a lot more out of the gun than you would a standard issue 92, having that superior barrel, sights, and trigger. On the plus side, this is actually one of the cheapest guns on the list, coming in at around $1,200, ready to go right out of the box. Number 3, we have the Walther Q5 PPQ match. Now there's two versions of this gun. One is a steel frame and one is a polymer frame. Either one is just as accurate as the other. It really depends on you what you want. The steel frame probably is going to be a little bit more accurate because it's going to have the weight, but the polymer frame gun is a real beast all its own. Coming in at 27 ounces, it's like having a sniper rifle in your waistband. It's a long slide gun with a 5-inch barrel, and it comes with some pretty sweet stock slide serrations that make the gun look really mean, and it looks pretty awesome compared to the original PPQ. I would consider it probably the most accurate striker-fired gun on the planet. Striker-fired triggers usually are not as good as hammer-fired triggers. However, the PPQ is a little bit different. It is a very short, very light trigger with a very predictable wall and reset to allow for some awesome accuracy. It also comes with some great sights and the ability to mount a red dot, which again takes things to the next level. Unlike something like a Glock or an M&P, the PPQ utilizes a fully cocked striker, so no modifications are really required to get a matched trigger, unlike something like a Glock. However, if you do decide to get crazy and throw a custom trigger in there, you can. Apex makes some awesome triggers for the PPQ, and if you want to get a 1911 P210 style trigger in a polymer gun, the PPQ with an Apex trigger gets you very, very close for a lot less money and a lot of weight savings as well. If you're looking for a lightweight pistol without a safety and without the need for double or single action, and you want it to be under $2,000, and you also want it to be able to hit at 150 yards, the Walther PPQ Q5 match really is the only way to fly. In at number 2, the CZ75. The TSO, Checkmate, or AccuShadow 2, pretty much all of the top of the line CZ75s. They're probably the most common gun that you'll see on whatever competition circuit you decide to go to. The CZ75 has been around for over 40 years and has amassed a huge following in the custom world. Like the Glock or the 1911, these pistols lend themselves well to aftermarket upgrades and can far exceed the original speed and accuracy of the standard model. You can get them in double action or straight up single action with a manual safety. They have a steel frame, so the weight is usually somewhere between 38 and 48 ounces depending on which model you get, usually with a 4.6-inch barrel or a full 5-inch barrel, again depending on what model you want. My CZ Accu Shadow has a barrel bushing on the front of it, adding even more accuracy to get the gun somewhere between 1.5 and 2 inches at 25 yards off a bench, making it unbelievably accurate. And you can easily hit it well over 100 yards with these pistols because of the amazing single action trigger. The single action trigger can be tuned down to about 2 pounds from any custom shop. I recommend Cajun Gunworks or CZ Custom, and you can really put it on par with the best triggers in the world. Adding the fact that there is a huge amount of sights that you can get, from blacked out bullseye sights to fiber optic sights to, again, adding a red dot. I have a Trijicon SRO on mine, and you can really get some phenomenal accuracy. The grip is very ergonomic, and you can add aftermarket grips to help fit the gun to your hand. Overall, you can't go wrong with a CZ75. Whether you're shelling out $2K for a custom Checkmate, TSO, or Accu Shadow, or whether you decide to go to a standard $500 model, I think you will find it really easy to make hits. It sure doesn't hurt that it's likely the most reliable gun on the list as well. I have around 8,000 through one of mine, and it's probably the most reliable gun that I own. Now we'll get into some quick honorable mentions. Mechanic TP9 SFX. This gun comes in at around $400 to $500. Easily makes hits at over 100 yards if you know what you're doing. The Pardini GT45 is also a gun with some legendary accuracy. The Browning High Power is a classic. The Phoenix Redback is very similar to the CZ75, but with a little bit of a unique twist. Usually my number ones are very obvious, and in this case, it's pretty obvious. It's the 1911 or 2011 pistol. And I wish it wasn't so obvious, but it really is the best. If you're trying to get accuracy out of a handgun, there's usually only one place to go: the single action 1911 or 2011. Double stack or single stack, it really doesn't matter all that much when it comes to accuracy. The 1911 is usually in 45 ACP, 9mm, but 40 cal, 357, all kinds of different calibers exist, so get whatever really floats your boat. The 2011 pistol has a double stack magazine capable of holding a considerable amount more rounds. You can get magazines for 2011 pistols that hold 30 rounds of 9mm. There's some other minor differences as well, including the grip being separate from the frame, but as far as accuracy goes, the 2011 1911 are pretty much the same gun. Usually with a 5-inch barrel, but they do go anywhere from 7 to 3. If you are looking for a niche gun, the 1911 or 2011 is a great gun as well, because you can get them in whatever size, caliber, capacity, weight, fitment, color, whatever you want. The 1911 or 2011 can get it for you. The number one pistol by the majority of competition shooters that can actually afford one, the single action straight back pull of the 1911 or 2011 is undeniably the best trigger in the business. And it's one of, if not the reason, the pistol has been very, very popular over the last 100 years. The 1911 was introduced in, you guessed it, 1911, made by arguably the best gun maker of all time, John Moses Browning. Then it was followed up 100 years later by the 2011, a double stack design capable of holding over 30 rounds. It was introduced by STI, but a number of custom shops also make the 2011, including two of my favorites, Atlas Gunworks or Hayes Custom. They have almost perfect ergonomics with all types of grips, grip inserts, and grip modules. Whatever texture you want, whatever size your hands are, you can get the gun to fit you perfectly, which again aids in accuracy. Fiber optic sights, bullseye sights, and all sorts of red dot mounts are also available for this pistol. Some of the best barrels in the world are also made for the 2011 or 1911 with a guaranteed accuracy of 1 inch at 25 yards. The 2011 or 1911 don't just have bench rest accuracy, however. The straight back, very short, very light trigger allows for a positive and easy interface with your trigger finger, allowing for less room to jack up the shot, and the only thing getting in the way of you hitting your target is you. So the downside is you don't have any excuses if you actually miss with one of these. So if you want to win a match, you want to impress your friends, you want to look cool on Instagram, save up, sell a kidney, and buy a 2011 or a custom 1911. It always amazes me this thing can hit that. Hell, even cheap 1911s are way more accurate than most guns. You can hit a target at 100 yards with a $400 Rock Island Armory all day long. I hope you liked this video. If you didn't like my list, you can always post your list in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later. All right, so we got about 10 rounds loaded up in this beautiful monster here, the HK Mark 23, and we're gonna shoot at 50 yards and see how we do. You know why I shoot a 45, honey?
Why?
Because they don't make a 46. Damn, this is a beautiful pistol.
Is that a joke I was supposed to get?